Hello, Dreamers. Welcome to another Valley Tour. Today we got Rachel, or as she is known in the community, 365 Rel, and she has a very unique valley called Magic Kingdom Valley. Her whole valley is designed after the classic era of Disney parks. She has so many classic rides built in her valley with touch of magic. It's absolutely incredible. I learned so many things. Let's dive right into the classic Disney park tour.
All right. To all who come to this happy place, welcome. My Dreamlight Valley is your valley.
Thank you. So first of all, when I just spawned, it looks so beautiful with the flowers. You definitely want to make an impression to all the visitors.
Yeah, this is actually I think you actually you saw this in an old Reddit post I did like a long time ago. This is inspired by the flowers that look like Mickey's face at the when you first get to the Esplanade, the main entrance to the Magic Kingdom.
Huh.
This is there used to be an actual face on there, but then I got rid of it to make room for the multiplayer spawn hub. I'm glad you like it.
I think I'm gonna learn a lot about Disney parks today.
Yeah, I'm like a walking encyclopedia when it comes to especially classic Disney. Like, I would say like 2010s and older.
All right, educate me, please.
Well, let's start right here. Is Main Street USA. A good deal of these attractions and rides may have changed or are not at the current Disney parks now. This whole valley is very dedicated to classic Disney. So I would say from the peak of the latest being like the mid to late 2010s with one area, but this is largely a tribute to classic Disney parks from when they were in that era. So here is the Penny Arcade, which is a bit modern, even though it was based on the traditional, the penny arcades that you would find at from the 1910s and 20s. Well, of course, we don't have that in this game, so I just used all the modern consoles and video games.
Why is it called Penny Arcade?
Because it was based on that was an actual attraction that people would do back in the 1910s and 20s. Main Street is a tribute to the traditional Americana from the Victorian and Edwardian era, and that was an attraction that people did. They would go to, they would pay pennies or dimes to play games or look at slideshows or get they even had claw machines back then.
Interesting.
But since we don't have that really in this game, I just used all the modern arcade stuff here.
All right, makes sense.
Right, and then there's also the red car trolley. I have a lot of Touch of Magic stuff that would to recreate the Magic Kingdom, and this is the red car trolley that would go around the Main Street. And until recently there was one in Disney's California Adventure too.
That looks really cool.
Thank you.
Looking forward to all the Touch of Magic. I don't see it very often.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I know a lot of players get frustrated from Touch of Magic because it gets in the way of dream snaps. But for me, Touch of Magic is essential for recreating the Disney parks. And
absolutely.
And so like I've got Daisy's boutique, and then the Scrooge's shop serves as the Emporium, the official gift shop of Main Street. And of course, the theater's also the Main Street Cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's my favorite detail of Miss Main Street. Now normally this is Mike and Sully's apartment, but in Disneyland's version of Main Street, Walt actually made his own apartment inside the firehouse so that if he stayed out too late and it took too long for him to go back home, he would actually live in the firehouse of Main Street USA.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, if you come inside, there's also more details based on the actual apartment. Now, this was also largely designed after the Victorian Edwardian time period because that was when Walt Disney grew up in. He loved that era, and so he largely designed it based on that. And one nice detail here is that ever since whenever Walt was in this apartment, there was a singular window at the firehouse, and when you lit this lamp, you knew that he was in there. So after Walt died, they decided to keep this lamp on day in and day out, so that even though Walt was gone, you would get a sense that he was always watching. And so this lamp is always on in my valley on day, whether it's daytime or nighttime.
Wow, that's so cool.
Thanks. And I also made this. This was also an area that Walt's grandkids would come in and play. They would play toys in his apartment when he had his family over. And there's old-timey technology like a rotary phone and a gramophone.
Mm-hmm.
And here Walt even had a little kitchen. He let one of his favorite snacks to have was grilled cheese sandwiches. But since there is I use peanut butter sandwich because there's no grilled cheese in this game yet. It's a cute little parlor. And then in here is just a standard Victorian-inspired bathroom, or at least the closest thing I could get to resemble it.
Nice. Very spacious.
Thanks.
I think I'll take my wings off because they're blocking a lot of the screen.
Actually, speaking while we're late a note, actually, I forgot to mention the outfit I'm wearing. My hat is a touch of magic. The hat I'm wearing is touch of magic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's based on a real baseball cap that I have in real life.
Do you have a lot of Disney merch?
Oh yes, but this baseball cap in particular is very rare because it was exclusive to a gaming convention for a Disney video game for the Xbox Kinect called Fantasia Music Evolved. They made baseball caps designed after Mickey's sorcerer hat and the Sorcerer's Apprentice. You know, just like on my lounge backpack. And
Nice.
I have that in real life, and so I decided to wear it in game too.
That's awesome.
All right. Now this last room is really a spare room that I made for myself. Is that, you know, as if I made a guest room for Mickey in case he ever wanted to come over and visit Walt. That's not actually in the real apartment. I just made that for fun.
Yeah, it looks good.
I like your glow in the dark Mickey backpack.
Yeah, it fits the outfit, I think.
Yeah, it does. Very haunted mansion.
Oh, I bet you have Haunted Mansion in your valley.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
I have all of New Orleans Square in one of the areas, but we'll get that when we get there.
Sounds good.
All right, if you come down here, just like in the real Magic Kingdom, you have to get past the partner statue of Mickey and Walt, and normally you'd go through the Magic Kingdom castle to get to Fantasyland and Toontown, but because of the layout of the valley, I actually split Peaceful Meadow in half. So on the left here is where Toontown is.
These rugs are so awesome. Looks like very still water.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's such a neat trick when I figured it out. Yeah,
Yep.
And this is Toontown. This is a combination of both the Disneyland Toontown when it first opened in the late 80s when Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out, and also Mickey's Toontown Fair in Walt Disney World that was there until they changed it to the Storybook Circus in the late 2000s. Yeah, Toontown is where you would have you'd be Mickey and Minnie and the gang in their houses, and you'd go and meet and greet them.
Love the flowers here.
Thank you. And over here is Fantasyland. And Woody's Carousel is the closest to King Arthur's Carousel, which is a Disney attraction inspired by Sword in the Stone. And each ride that I made in this valley has a decorative queue that's inspired by the themes of each ride. So here I tried as best I could to make it like a Sword in the Stone, King Arthur's Throne sort of thing with this queue.
Uh-huh. Huh. So they have like decorations around the queues?
Yeah, in the Disney parks that's what it's like in the real Disney parks too. Some queues are even interactive, like you can play with touch some screens and get in or play sounds and music. It gives you something to do while you're waiting in line.
Yeah, that's cool. Wish more places did that.
Yeah.
Waiting
Now,
in line is the worst part.
Oh God, yeah. But Disney's always had really decorative cues to help to not only keep the guests immersed in the theme, but also keeps them somewhat entertained while they're waiting for the rides. Like here for the spinning teapot ride, I added I've added in the unbirthday tea party, like from the Alice in Wonderland movie. That long table with all the teacups and the mismatching chairs,
Mm-hmm.
and even an unbirthday cake. Then this is Dumbo, the flying elephant, with a circus inspired queue. And this is It's a Small World, and I used Touch of Magic to make dolls based on each of the main nations or places in the world that the ride showcases.
Wow, that is so creative.
Thank you. Yeah, this is the Holland girl for Europe. I used a cute little Japanese girl for Asia. This little African boy for Africa. A sort of a Hispanic boy for Mexico/Latin America. And then a Hawaiian girl for Oceania/Hawaii/Polynesia. And then at the end of the ride, in the real ride, all the different dolls would go together to sing a finale of the song, and they would all be wearing different uniforms, but I don't have enough room in Touch of Magic to recreate all of these with these ones with different costumes.
This already looks super impressive. That's one of the most complex Touch of Magic designs I've seen.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Like, how do you draw a whole person and like make it really obvious, like what it's supposed to be? It's amazing.
Oh, well, a lot of it was just I did a lot of research on what the dolls were designed after for each of the areas of the ride, but also Touch of Magic has things like a smiley face, which really helps make with the eyes and the mouth. And then I just worked with the different shapes to form like the big smiling mouth and make it look like they were holding little songbooks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I even listened to, for each of the rides I made, I listened to the original audio for each of the rides to get the best inspiration, which included It's a Small World. I listened to that song while I was making the attraction in the valley.
Love it.
Down here is New Orleans Square, which is in the Disneyland version of the Magic Kingdom, but not in Walt Disney World. This is the section where it is more inspired by the New Orleans city, and the New Orleans Square depicts two main attractions, is most famous for depicting the Haunted Mansion, right here, and then Pirates of the Caribbean, which is on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also designed the queue based on the ones from the Rail Park. You actually go through a garden cemetery and a pet cemetery with different graves and decaying flowers. And so that's what I tried to do to recreate that for the queue for the Haunted Mansion right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got Steamboat, Mickey's Steamboat. That's the closest thing resembling to the Liberty Riverboat, the Liberty Bell and Riverboat in Liberty Square. That's also in New Orleans Square. And then this is an area that's also, Tiana's area, but is also inspired in the in Disneyland. And also, I already said Disneyland. In the in New Orleans Square, there's a real New Orleans themed restaurant called the Blue Bayou, where guests could have New Orleans cuisine, but also watch the boats go by on people riding Pirates of the Caribbean. And so that's why I left some of the scenery open, because guests could actually watch people ride the ride while they're eating. Wasn't that neat?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Now you're starting right in the middle of the ride. I'll show you where the entrance is so I can give you a prop, because this is based on the Pirates of the Caribbean, the original one before it was changed to the Disney, the movie Pirates of the Caribbean in the 2000s. So there won't be any pirates say, "Where be Captain Jack Sparrow?" and there's no Barbossa here. But it does have a decorative cube with elements from the movies, but just to fit the environment. And much like the real ride, you would get on a boat, and when you first go down, you pass by a sort of a Cajun local playing the banjo on a swamp boat, which is why I put that there. Then you would go down the waterfalls to the world of to the realm of Pirates of the Caribbean, where you would hear a pirate narrators whisper things like, "It be too late to alter course, mateys. Dead men tell no tales."
That's
you'd go
awesome.
you'd see the skeletons steering the ship, and the cursed treasure. "Properly warned ye be," says I. Oh, and then this is normally the part where a captain would be. This is where the pirates would actually be attacking the Caribbean. "Strike your colors, you bloomin' cockroaches!" But since there's no actual cannons here, I opted to use the party cannon from the New Year's update recently.
That's
funny.
awesome. Yeah, the more we play, the more items they introduce, so we can substitute something even better.
Yeah, although I don't think it'd be quite as fitting with just if they try to shoot confetti and streamers at the Caribbean than actual cannons.
Yeah, maybe we'll get cannons one day.
Yeah. Now this is the part we're inspired by after that scene you would see pirates interrogating the mayor, going, "Where be the treasure?" Actually waterboarding the mayor named Carlos, trying to waterboard him to tell him where the treasure is. So when there's the well there and the fountain spewing out, and with the way the pirates look, it looks like Carlos is already underwater. Looks like he's trying to sputtering for air while the pirates are dunking him, trying to tell him where the treasure is.
Nice.
And then this is the famous scene toward the end where pirates are locked up in a prison cell, but there's a cute little guard dog is holding the keys, and the pirates are trying to bribe him to give it to him. It's like, "Here, come on, have a nice juicy bone," and they're holding a little rope and a bone to try to get him to give him the keys.
Did you make it do we have a dog motif, or you made it with simple shapes?
We have a dog motif in Touch of Magic.
Huh.
Yeah, we also have the keys too.
But it wasn't together. You had to combine it.
Yeah, that's not the same keys for Pirates of the Caribbean, but it is the only key we have. So it's the closest thing resembling the one to the prison keys that the guard dog is holding in his mouth on the rail ride.
That looks so natural.
Thanks. Then that would be where you go up the waterfall and at the end of the ride.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad you like this.
This makes me want to go to the Disneyland. I've never been still.
Oh, I do not recommend going now. Unfortunately, the park's quality has really gone downhill in recent years, and they've also been way too expensive. So this valley is a tribute to what the parks used to be like back in the good old days. All right, this is Adventureland. I split Sunlit Plateau into two parts, and this Adventureland is the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and over here is they have the Aladdin carpet ride, which for some reason I can't seem to turn it on when I'm in multiplayer. I can't interact with it. But that's as far as I know, is in the Disney World version of Adventureland. And then over here is the Jungle Cruise.
You are a sight for sore eyes. Oh yeah, we do have the boat.
Yeah, and then Tiki Sam's Lost and Found is in the front queue. That's actually where it's from, the original Jungle Cruise ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got more Touch of Magic of the different animatronics they showcase. Like this one, there's a cute baby elephant animatronic that squirts water at the passengers, And so I recreated as best I could there. Instead of squirting water, it looks more like it's just splashing water with its trunk.
Wow, you're really good at Touch of Magic.
Thank you. And then more ancient sort of jungle-like ruins. And there's a tiger enclosure. Now, some villagers claim that they have spotted tigers over in this area, but I can assure you that our tigers are very much striped. I also listened to the original spiel that the skippers would give the tours while it's on the Jungle Cruise rides. I listened to original audio from that. All right. Over here is the Enchanted Tiki Room, complete with an ice cream that serves Dole Whip. That's become a famous tradition with the Enchanted Tiki Room, is that they would sell pineapple Dole Whip right outside the ride. The attraction. It's not a ride.
Interesting.
Now the inside is, unfortunately, I have yet to actually make the different parrots in Touch of Magic. So all there is inside is just more of the tiki heads in the jungle setting.
How do you make a parrot? That sounds so complicated.
I know, that's why I've tried before, but haven't really gotten around to it. Plus, unfortunately, the game only lets you have a certain amount of saved designs, so you can't put in everything that I put there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
This is the closest thing I could get to a tiki head. That was also really tough. And even that, it isn't quite right.
Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, originally this was actually the first show made up of audio animatronics that was in the Disney parks. And then over here is Frontierland, starting here with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, the wildest ride in the wilderness. And the furniture that I could use the closest thing that I could get to a train, because the Big Thunder is a high-speed train ride.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the closest thing I could get to a train.
That is very creative.
Thanks. Yeah, you'd go through normally you would go with the real ride, you'd speed through dark caves and huge twists and turns, but couldn't really do that in this game.
Yep.
And even in the queue, they had squirting barrel. Also in the queue, they have barrels that squirt water out.
Huh.
Over here is Splash Mountain. The queue over here is designed after Uncle Remus in Song of the South. He's not in the ride, but I designed it after the sitting room because the ride is based on the tales of Brer Rabbit, and which in the ride is told through Brer Frog, one of the other characters. So I made the queue to look like the sitting room, where Uncle Remus would tell the stories, and then you would ride on a log through the forest and the Laughing Place, and it would get darker and darker as it gets closer to Chickapin Hill. And then there's the famous log where you would ride a leg and go through the big splash over in the briar patch. That's why I have the fountain over there.
Wow, so much attention to detail.
Thanks. And then I don't know if I can really fit here. But then on the other side, and then after you go through Chickapin Hill, the forest is all happy and cheery again. This is where the animatronics would sing zippity doo dah, zippity yay. But I don't think I have enough room in Touch of Magic to make those animatronics for this ride. And then over this little stand is inspired by the Pecos Bill Cafe in Frontierland, where they would serve a lot of Tex-Mex food, which is why I have things like tacos and Franken beans.
Mm-hmm.
Over here is the Country Bear Jamboree.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thanks. That's another one of the original audio animatronic, another stage show with audio animatronics.
So there's actual like bear animatronic playing piano?
Yes. Yeah, the Country Bear is a stage show of animatronic bears singing different country songs, and you've got dancers and even like a little chorus of bears. It's very cutesy.
That's cool.
If we transition past Frontierland.
Have you done anything with floating islands?
Yeah, but more like just to put some houses out of the way so I can make room for like this here, here's Tomorrowland in Forgotten Lands. Originally, I had Jack Skellington's house here, but now that I moved him up to the floating island so I could make room for more attractions.
Makes sense.
Yeah, this is Tomorrowland, the ride dedicated to sci-fi and futuristic technology. And over here is the People Movers, which are they're little blue carts that you would ride around in the park. But the closest thing I could get to make to that were the floating hover chairs from the WALL-E set with blue counters.
Yeah.
And the gravel path for the track.
Yeah, it definitely does the job.
And then there's the Toy Story, and then here's the Toy Story ride that's also in Tomorrowland, at least in one version. Either Disney, I think it's in Disney World Tomorrowland, because Disneyland has the Pixar Pier, where there's a lot more Pixar themed rides there. Over here, this is another attraction I'm proud of, is the Carousel of Progress. It's an attraction where you would watch another animatronic show as a tribute to technological innovation and the progression of our way of life. On one side, you have all the more old-fashioned technology, and then on the other side, you have ones where the more modern or futuristic.
I didn't realize Disney has so many like rides that are not necessarily themed about the characters.
Like an IP?
And like movies and stuff.
Oh yeah, well a lot of Walt's original work wasn't based on IP. It wasn't IP based on cartoons or movies. They had a lot of IPs that were originated from the rides, like Carousel of Progress. You would watch an American Family talk about how much things are changing over the course of like the 1900s, where you had refrigerators for ice boxes, or you would wash your clothes by hand, or you didn't have indoor plumbing. And then as time goes on, you see how more of it's progressed to now. We have electricity, we've got air conditioning, we've got toilets, we've got flat screen, we've got TVs. We don't have, we don't have to just listen to the radio. It really makes you appreciate how far we've come in our way of life.
Yeah, it does.
I made this out of Touch of Magic too.
Mm-hmm.
And in the queue is inspired by in the queue of the original ride, it would be a sort of a mission control, because you were like an astronaut traveling through space, and so the queue would be mission control. Like the trope with Houston, we have a problem. It's that kind of thing with people going into space.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made the actual Space Mountain out of Touch of Magic with 3 different refrigerators.
Wow, seamless design.
Thanks. And then the Monsters Inc. ride is the closest thing I could get to Autopia, which is a simple car ride in Tomorrowland. And the queue is just generic, is different automobile themed, since the ride is based on riding around cars.
Mm-hmm.
And there actually is a Pizza Planet in the theme parks, and so I made that into an outdoor venue that would also be where my People Mover exit is.
Such a interesting name, People Mover.
Yeah, If only we could get rid of this stupid treehouse sometime this next century.
Yeah, hopefully soon. I'm curious what you did with DLCs.
Oh, that one I ended up doing more that one I ended up doing more based on the different themes of the areas. Like, in Eternity Isle, the ancient ruins are more based on Atlantis, and so I sort of kept that theme in there. And or in Storybook Vale, I stuck to the themes of Hercules in or ancient Greece in Mythopia and things that's still very much a work in progress.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I recently added Sugar Rush into Mythopia, the racetrack, the Vanellope's game in Wreck-It Ralph.
Nice.
Now, this area is based on Pixar Pier. That was added to Disney's California Adventure in the around 2018.
So colorful.
Thanks. Now they actually have they took one they have this is an actual ride from Pixar Pier, and the Bing Bong candy statue this is it's from an actual candy shop near the ride in the actual Pixar Pier. So I designed it into a little candy shop. Now this is the Slinky Dog Dash ride, which is actually in Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World, but it's it's a Pixar themed ride, so it seemed to be the best fit here. And I designed the queue after like Andy's room / Bonnie's room from Toy Story 3. And then I have the Flo's V8 Cafe as a drink station because that's actually in the there's actually a separate area from Pixar Pier in Disneyland California Adventure called Cars Land, and they have Flo's V8 Cafe as an actual restaurant.
Interesting.
And then I added the balloon from Up as just to add to more Pixar, some more Pixar theme. I don't think this is an actual attraction in the parks. But there is an actual Pier Arcade. That's where this the shooting ride's from. And I lined up different prizes for people to win. And then the Pixar Pal Around is also from Pixar Pier. And I added the queue is decorated based on elements from various different Pixar movies. So you've got Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc., Ratatouille, a little bit of almost everything in there. And now areas like these and Forest of Valor and Frosted Heights, those are more ones specifically made to fit the needs of Dreamlight Valley. The characters' homes, the decorate the areas.
Wow, I like this outside of Eric's house. You use the items that he gives you blueprints to build this area.
Well, it seemed to make the most sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here with the other characters, like Maui and Ursula. Oh, actually, I lied. There is more Disney theme park attraction stuff inspired things in Forest of Valor, although it's a bit more loose.
All right.
Now with this, I made the Forest of Valor to be like an enchanted forest, and it's also loosely inspired by the Fantasy Fair in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, where you would go and meet the Disney princesses, and they have attractions in places like Gaston's Tavern, where you could actually get drinks, and a restaurant, the Be Our Guest restaurant inspired by Beauty and the Beast.
Oh no, it's raining.
Never fails.
Yeah. You have umbrella.
Yeah.
Wait, do I have umbrella?
I don't know. So yeah, this is a little bit more loose. This area is more loosely inspired by the Disney parks. It's not really a direct replica, but I did think this was the best theme for, the Disney princesses or princess inspired ones. Ooh. Yeah, and this one is I had to I used this house as an area to dedicate to my all-time favorite Disney movie / princess, Snow White. This cottage looks a lot like the one from the dwarves the dwarves have in the actual movie.
So it's decorated inside too?
Oh yes. Let me Yeah, this one is a little bit more. This is one a bit more of like more directly based on the ones in the movie, like or at least the closest I could. Like there's no wooden piano here, but this is where Grumpy would play an organ during the silly song segment.
Mm.
And then I made my own Snow White dress and touch of magic.
That looks pretty good. I've seen a few Snow White cottages. People really like making Snow White cottages.
Oh yeah, I always that Snow White's my all-time favorite Disney movie. I saw it in theaters in 1993 when I was little, and it sparked what would eventually become my passion for all animation when I grew up. It was the one that started it all for Walt Disney, and it's the one that started it all for me.
Wow, that's so cool.
Thanks. Over here, I made the kitchen with some of the dwarves. Unfortunately, they won't let you put 7 mannequins in one room.
These guys are too tall to be dwarfs.
Yeah, I know. They at least got the main style of the costumes right.
Yeah, the outfits are on point.
Yeah, and they're all lining up for soup because that's what Snow White makes in the movie. I also found out this trick where you could merge these two fireplaces together because the horned fireplace, the one in the Tangled collection, doesn't light. But if you put another fireplace together, it looks like it does.
Wow, that looks so good.
Thank you.
I would not like. This looks like one item.
I'm glad. I'm glad that they blend in so well.
The sparkle's just coming out of the cauldron. That's perfect.
Yep. And then over here is their bedrooms. Now these style beds I think were the closest ones to the ones in the movie because the dwarves carved their own. All the dwarves' beds are wood carved.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize we have 2 different colors.
Yeah, and also in the movie, there's a deleted. If you look in the DVDs, there's a deleted scene where the dwarves make a full-sized bed for a full-sized wooden bed for Snow White as a thank you gift.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
So the only difference is the pillow color. One is blue, one is red. Everything else is the same.
Let's see. Let's see. Are the now the mushroom? I guess now the mushrooms are pretty much the same. Yeah, I guess that is really the main difference.
Wow.
And the wood color is slightly different.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, like the purple ones are a little browner, but with the orange pillows, it's a bit lighter wood.
Oh, interesting. I wonder why they only changed one pillow, not both.
Maybe it's easier on the developers.
That's true.
It's kind of like I used to work in animation, and I kind of like jokes where it's like, we try to stay around the same area. It's easier on the animators.
Whoa, what is going on in this room?
All right, this is the scene. This is inspired by the scene where Snow White tells the dwarves to wash up before dinner. This is the scene where, so the closest thing could make to the outside is where the dwarves go out and they're on that big tub and they get themselves cleaned up. Eventually, they dunk Grumpy in there because he doesn't want to wash up.
Huh? So this is like the night sky, or like outside at night.
The closest thing I could get to it. Doesn't really cover the. I know some parts of the brick walls are showing, but it's close enough, and it's also why why only this side of the house looks like an outdoors.
Yeah. Huh, that's interesting. Very cool idea.
Thanks. That's why I think this soapy tub is perfect because this is a scene all about where the dwarves are all washing up before dinner.
Yeah.
There's more of the characters' houses here. And then this area this part of the forest is to serve the needs of Dreamlight Valley, plant crops, put Wally's garden. I just made this so I turned this area into like a farmer's market for the different fruit harvestable trees and a little campsite to put Buzz's house here.
Yeah, very practical.
Thanks. Yeah, none of this is actually in any of the theme parks. This is just to serve the needs of Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah, you have to have some practical areas for Star Path and quests.
Yeah, especially here. Now this is nothing in here is inspired by the theme parks. This is purely to serve for Dreamlight Valley. I love this. They definitely made the most of the new winter set.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So there's no like frozen areas or rides in any of the parks.
Well, there is a frozen ride in Epcot in Walt Disney World, which is in the they have a place called Around the World Showcase. And one of the countries is, Norway, Scandinavia, and they added a frozen ride there into that section of Epcot. But no, there isn't like that in the Magic Kingdom. There's a meet and greet, but no rides and attractions from Frozen.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I made the Arendelle Courtyard.
Oh, cool shape.
Thanks. Yeah, and originally this is where I used to have Vanellope's house here with Sugar Rush, but since but then I moved it to Storybook Vale, and so I used this to make a sort of outdoor winter park. Like the piano and the harp would be for performers, and a gazebo for a grill to do outdoor cooking, and a merry-go-round and the lake. So yeah, I think that's about it for my valley.
Yeah, great job. You were probably the closest out of anyone I've seen to an actual Disney park.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, I never showed you the inside of the Haunted Mansion if you're interested or if you've got time.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, now that lighting is the evening lighting is really good for inside, because I've learned that for better lighting indoors, it has to be evening or dark in real life in order to get the best lighting for indoors.
Yeah, chandeliers go up when it's dark outside.
Yeah, this is now unlike unlike the real stretcher room, this chamber actually has 4 doors, even though there's supposed to be no windows and no doors, but this one's got 4 because it's the main hub.
Wow, I've never seen the tracks inside.
Oh, that's because it's normally not in the stretching room. It's in the room afterwards where you go in the underground queue where you wait in line for ride your Doom buggy. This first room goes to the library and ballroom where Madame Leota, where you would circle by her. And she would chant her incantation, the serpent, spiders, tail of a rat, call in the spirits wherever they're at. And then afterwards you would go by the ballroom where you would see the ghosts dancing with the rotting banquet table and the organs playing itself.
Uh-huh.
Only I could make the rooms a bit bigger. It's a bit of a tight squeeze.
Yeah.
Now this one is the attic, where there's the bride that has changed over the years, but the main story is that all her husbands the bride who has been married multiple times, but she killed all her husbands.
Huh. I love this dress.
Thanks. Yeah, her design has switched from the beating heart bride to the axe-wielding bride, Constance Hatchaway.
Wow.
And that dress is based on the original beating heart bride. And then here's where you go outdoors to the graveyard and beware of hitchhiking ghosts.
Okay, the black walls look seriously cool. It does look like it just goes outside.
Yeah, if only these little corners of the brick wall I could hide them.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, it's weird because the whole ride is indoors, but there's a section that makes you feel like you went outside, out from the attic and into the outdoor graveyard. And then the hitchhiking ghosts will follow you home.
Huh. That's cool. Yeah, that sounds like a
Normally,
fun ride.
Yeah, it is fun. And normally you would, and you don't even leave the same way you came in. You go out through the basement, the wine cellar, and then you go to an outdoor queue, exit queue through an outdoor graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the Haunted Mansion it's got a bit of a cult following in recent years with different versions through different countries. It's a really interesting ride.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you did, click that subscribe button because more Valley tours are coming very soon. Thank you so much, Rachel, for educating me and telling all of these interesting trivia about classic Disney parks and just putting a lot of effort and creativity into your valley. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be absolutely blown away. It's definitely a very unique way to decorate your valley. Just pick... Ah, my God, the cat keeps biting me. I'm not recording videos with you ever again. Every time I try to move her closer, she's just gonna chomp on my arm. And then she's acting like she didn't do anything wrong, just trying to be cute. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Rachel. And thank you all of our amazing supporters. I'll see you in the next one. And a wonderful day, dreamers. Goodbye.
Oh, nice day we're having, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. Woohoo!
Amazing. Gotta tell you, it is really beautiful here. Hey, nice to see you.
Oh, hello.
Are you seeing this?